Hello everyone, it's Jeff coming to you from my basement this time. A little time for a little change of scenery, and this is a Spin Zone video. It's in the time since I last made one of those. I've listened to about a dozen albums, so I'm going to split them in half and show the first 6 today of what I've been listening to over the last probably 2.5 weeks. And then my next one I'll show the rest. Couple things. I went to Half Price Books yesterday and I made a couple of purchases. The first one being, I've seen this on the Facebook, YouTube vinyl community, the Dust and Grooves book. It's a very thick coffee table book showing, different people with their record collections and whatnot. Very, very nice book. And I actually, after I'd gone through the records and found the ones that I was going to get, I actually walked around the whole store looking to see if this might be around somewhere, to see if I could get it. So I'm standing in line waiting to pay, and I turned my head and there was a stack of about 20 of them. So at my half price, these were 20 bucks. So I'm assuming, I don't know what the original price was, but I'm assuming it's probably in the 40 range, which would make it half price, right? But yeah, this is mostly a picture book. I mean, I know there's some interviews at the end with famous record collectors, but it's just cool to have. So, and I haven't even really looked through it that much yet. I just wanted to have it, so I got that. As another warning, or this is going to turn into another bitch session like my other video. But I'm just going to tell you, I found a sealed copy of Trust at half price, and it was the 2015 reissues, and it had the same problems that the other 2 Costello albums had that I showed in my probably 2 videos ago, my backward spin video. I've cleaned this record. It cleaned up very nicely, but it was still covered with sawdust. And I don't know if you remember, there were like these white lines on the vinyl of the Armed Forces, copy of Armed Forces that I had. There were a bunch of those white lines all over this record too. Luckily, they all cleaned up and came off and ended up being okay. Haven't played it, but visually it looks like it's going to be okay. All I can say is, guys, buyer beware when it comes to these Costello reissues, and chances are you're probably going to have to clean them up and cross your fingers and hope you get a good one. I don't know what else to say. That's really kind of a sucky thing for a brand new album to be, but there you go. Okay, getting to the records that I've been listening to over the last, like I said, 2.5 weeks. I've showed this one recently. This is the MoFi version of Rumor Inside by Richard Thompson. I played this all the way through. This is a 2-record set. Fantastic album. I love Richard Thompson. I don't, for my money, he hasn't put out a bad album yet. At least all of the ones that I've heard. I haven't heard them all, but they certainly are very, very good. And I'd been wanting this on vinyl for ages. And even though it was a MoFi and it was a little more expensive, I figured, what the hell, I had to have it, so I got it. And it was for me, it was well worth the money. So, Rumor and Sigh is a great album. Another one that turned out to be really great that I kind of honestly wasn't sure about was Boogie with Canned Heat. But it turned out to be a great blues album. I mean, it's this is just what the back looks like. What's the hit off of this one? On the Road Again is the big hit off of this album. But really the rest of it is just good late 60s white boy blues rock. So and this was an original copy, I believe, on the Liberty record label, which turned out to be in great shape. It turned out to have very nice sound. Very happy with it. And yeah, I wasn't expecting much from Canned Heat. I don't know why. I'm probably not as familiar with these guys as I am with other bands from the 60s, but this was a very good listen. Boogie with Canned Heat, and I was boogieing, for sure. This album will make you boogie. Left turn from Canned Heat is Miles Davis, of course. This is his album Sorcerer, and I think I told the story about this one. This was the Vinyl Me Please album for December, and I was interested in it, but I didn't want to have to rejoin the Vinyl Me Please service to get this album. So I ended up tracking it down on eBay. Here's the back. And I ended up finding an original Columbia 2i mint condition for less than what it would have cost me to get the Vinyl Me Please version. So, as far as the album goes, it's pretty great. I mean, it's the Miles Davis Quartet Mark II, I think, is the band with this album, and it's just great. The only thing, and this would go to the idea of a great album being ruined, maybe not ruined, but thrown off by one song, is the last track, the closing track on side 2. It's called Nothing Like You, and it's the only track on the album that has vocals, and it's by Bob Dorough, who I believe was in the movie Jingle Bell Rocks, which is all about Christmas music and Christmas vinyl, which came out, I think, in 2014. Great movie if you like Christmas music, but it's all about vinyl collectors searching specifically for strange Christmas music. But Bob Dorough was in that, and through that movie I learned that he was one of the main songwriters for Schoolhouse Rock, which I thought was pretty interesting. So, but anyway, that's just factoids. He sings on the song. It's called Nothing Like You, and you know, most of this album it's Miles, you know, doing his thing, his cool thing, and then you have this quirky little song with these even quirkier vocals, and it just does not fit with the rest of this album, which is kind of stately jazz. I don't know what else to say. It wasn't bad. I mean, it did not fit at all with the theme of this album. But it is what it is, I guess. I still like this record, and I still like Miles Davis. I still want to get more Miles Davis albums. So, yeah, Sorcerer is a good one, for sure. For sure. And then a left turn from that, back into the classic rock realm, is Grand Funk. We're an American Band. Very shiny gold cover. And here is the gatefold. You can see the boys like to be naked, don't they? This isn't the first picture or cover I've seen with these guys with no shirts or no clothes. Obviously the title track was the big hit off of this album. This was produced by Todd Rundgren, and it does have a certain Todd sound to it, you know, filtered through the band. Because, you know, Grand Funk is basically a chunky, you know, slab of just sludgy riffs. But this album was pretty good. I got this cheap. I got this for like $2, I think, at either half price or an eBay auction, and I just threw it in. So it was good to have. I have a couple of Grand Funk albums, and I like them. You know, they're not bad. So it was this would be a good, you know, summertime listen, I think. We're an American band. And then a couple of reissues, which I've shown recently. The first one, I know I showed this recently. I'd gotten this for Valentine's Day. This was Odelay by Beck. I played this whole thing and listened to it together with my wife, and it's a great album. It's been a long time since I've listened to it beginning to end, but what can you say? It's Beck. You know, I think this was his breakthrough. Well, no, I guess it wouldn't be his breakthrough, but he became a much bigger star. And not just a one-hit wonder with, I guess, Loser. But there's a lot of great songs on this album, and it still sounds fresh today, even though it's like 20 years old, 22 years old, something like that. So yeah, that's a great album. And of course, finally, for this video, I listened to Black Sabbath, the first album. I showed this one recently. My wife bought me the first 3 Black Sabbath albums out of the blue. Big surprise. There's the gatefold. There's the back. And unlike the Costello reissues, these are pristine. And this is the way you do reissues. It's got the replica Warner Brothers label. Pristine, super quiet vinyl, clean, not a mark on it. I don't think this was a QRP pressing. I think if it was, it probably would have had the sticker on it like Paranoid did. But it sounded fantastic, and it was super quiet, and the music itself was just outstanding. So I get it whenever people talk about this album. You know, the only other Sabbath album I really listened to is Paranoid. So this was easily as good, if not slightly better than Paranoid. And what can you say about Black Sabbath, huh? I'm catching up to the rest of you guys. I'm getting my metal education here from the very beginning. I'm starting from the very beginning here with Black Sabbath. So yeah, this is well worth the purchase, and very happy to finally have this on vinyl. Very happy to be able to listen to it in its entirety without having to clean it, without having to worry about crap all over it. I don't mean to bitch about that, but it's very annoying when you buy an album and you see all this stuff and you have to clean it and pray you have a good copy. So that wasn't the case with this. This was an outstanding album, an outstanding reissue. The sound was fantastic. Can't say enough good stuff about it. First Black Sabbath album. Rounds out this video. So there you have it. I hope to get a contest entry into Andy's Vinyl Den's mixtape contest. I hope to have that by tomorrow, with any luck. I think I have the genre, and I think I have the songs almost all nailed down, so I will hopefully make it tomorrow and have it up. And I'm also running a contest too. It's called Crazy Eights. The response to it has been massive. I think I'm up to 30 entries. so far. I'll have to give it a count, but I know I'm close to 30 if I'm not already over 30. So yeah, thank you for the overwhelmingly positive response, and you still have time to get into that contest. You still have a couple of weeks. It's only March 1st, so the drawing will be on March 19th. So you still got time if you haven't made your video yet. And thank you to all who've entered. I've liked all your videos. Some of them have been really, really creative. Okay, I will be back shortly with a contest entry video, and I will see you guys around the VC. Peace, everyone. Take care.